The evolution of your marketing will be the catalyst for the evolution of your business, and the evolution of your business will provide you with the freedom to focus on the evolution of your life. This is Evolved Marketing with Andre and Brian.
Welcome back to another episode of the Evolved Marketing Podcast. I am here with my co-host, Brian Brewer, and today we have a very exciting guest. Our guest today, he's an ex-professional hip-hop dancer who toured with T-Pain back in 2011, and he also created some type of business where he taught people how to dance the robot online. And I'm sure that's where he first got the first taste of making money online. That is an actual real thing. From there, Adrian went on working at a call center, making $27,000 a year, which I guess is not enough, like if you guys are over there working, it's not enough money to survive. But then he realized that affiliate marketing was an exciting business. He also went viral on TikTok in 2020 when the pandemic hit for living in his van and living a minimalist lifestyle. So after the pandemic finished, he ended up creating his own program called the Brambila Method, which shows many students how to make money online with a side hustle and affiliate marketing. So without further ado, let's welcome Adrian Brambila.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Super excited to be here. I've caught a few of your podcasts before. I feel like most marketers are keeping it high level. You guys are in the dirt, in the weeds, sharing the tactics. And it's really cool because people can listen to this podcast and actually take implementation and actions. And I feel like a lot of podcasts I listen to, I feel inspired, but I don't really know what to do. And you guys are delivering good. So happy to be here.
Well, we really appreciate that compliment, and we really appreciate your time and being here. I know you're going to bring a ton of that tactical advice and tips to us today in this episode. So I'm sure it's going to be a good one because you kind of got the best of both worlds. I mean, you grew a TikTok following to over 1 million subscribers or followers or whatever it's called over there on TikTok platform, but you also run niche affiliate marketing businesses, and you're very strategic about that. So you kind of got the ability to attract attention and be the attractive character, as Russell Brunson might say, but you also are in the weeds yourself. So we're going to learn a lot from you today. But let's start a little further back if we could, and we can catch everyone up to speed here. First business online, selling dance tutorials. I'm a big hip hop fan earlier in my life, so I'd love to just chat about the life on the road with T-Pain and stuff all day, but we're going to spare our audience that experience. So just kind of tell us about how you decided to do that, basically monetizing your skill set, even though you thought it was kind of a little bit weird.
Yeah. When I was dancing with T-Pain, tour ended very abruptly. There was on the foresight of things an international tour hitting up Australia and Europe, and I was so excited. And then all of a sudden, right before, weeks before we take off, the manager calls all the dancers, and then I'm one of the names that they chopped off the list. And so I was like, "Whoa, like that! I don't know what to say. I was stuck." So I went back to Iowa, Dubuque, Iowa, which is where I learned how to dance. And then I was afraid, truthfully, of continuing to be a dancer, and the only way to do that is not in Dubuque, Iowa. You have to go to LA, and so then I learned of YouTube, and that there was hope. That's all there was, that I could make dance videos and then make money from the dance videos. But that's where I started. That's the idea I had in my head. So during my senior year in college, I started posting dance videos and tutorials, and then I had to get a job because that made zero money after a year. And then I got a job in a call center, still posting videos. I'm still running really just off passion. But after like 2 years, I still made $0. And I had uploaded probably like 50 videos, a combination of like me dancing to like trendy songs, then also like dance tutorials, teaching people how to do like an arm wave or like glitching or twitching or whatever. And I was getting views. I think I had like 10,000 followers, but again, zero money. And so I think I thought naively that I could just post content and then YouTube would pay me. But that was definitely 2 years of just effort and no money to show. And a lot of my friends and family thought I was just wasting my time. And now that I was like in college, it was cool. After college, it was like, dude, so now you're like 22 and you're making dance videos online. Like, what are you doing with your life? But I thought it would work. And then about 2.5 years in, a subscriber of mine was like, Adrian, I love your videos, but can you make something more comprehensive? Like I would actually buy it from you. So it was a subscriber that actually told me my first offer, which is for anyone that wants to make money online. How do you actually make money? You have to first figure out what your offer is. And so content, even though that same struggle that I faced many years ago, today, a lot of people create content because it's easier and you can see traction and it feels like work, but you can make a lot of content today and have a lot of followers and still not make money. So I made my first offer, which was a 60-minute beginner how to dance the robot tutorial. And it covered a lot of the different things in a more organized fashion. It was $25. And then when I launched that was the first month I made $1,000.
Wow. That was like the first taste of making money online, right? For you?
I think the first good taste, maybe I would say the first taste was when I got paid after maybe a year and a half. I got my first AdSense payment and it was like a quarter, maybe. That was like the taste. That was like a drop. And then the $1,000 was like definitely like a pivotal moment. Like, whoa, like you can actually make real money, like more than just a taste. You can get full.
Yeah. And then that selling that $25 product allow you to quit your 9 to 5 job, correct? The call center that you were.
Yeah. So then a year after I launched that offer, I was now making around $5,000 a month. That was way more than I was making at my 9 to 5. And the income in Iowa, it's a lot of money in Iowa. In Dubuque, Iowa. I lived in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and these places are very low cost of living. And I feel like if it kept building, I think at the time I had the number one website in the world for if you typed in how to dance the robot. And so I taught millions of people how to do it. I didn't have millions of customers because the people that actually bought was like such a small percentage. I thought like it was, there were thoughts that I could make like 6 figures with it. I never did. I never could make more than 5,000 a month because it is an incredibly ultra niche. And maybe that's changed if I was to redo it, with TikTok, and now dancing is more like popular. But back then I was everywhere. Even on Pinterest, you would type in robot dance and I was the number one everywhere. And the max I could make was 5K, but that's okay. Cause that was enough for me to quit my 9 to 5.
That's really exciting. So at some point, you probably went through an idea because you said you had the vision of making 6 figures with it where you were going to scale. And I went through the same thing with some of my early niche stuff where I got to like $3,500 a month and I was putting all this effort into scaling it, but I couldn't figure it out. So at some point you have to cut ties with it and move another direction. What was that decision like? How did you make it? And what was the next direction you went after that?
2 things happened around the time where I felt like I was hitting the ceiling for multiple months. And I felt like I was doing everything I could. The only thing I know now that I wasn't doing is I wasn't running successful ads. But that for some people, running ads, it seems like it's on the pedestal, impossible to achieve it. And it took me many years to feel confident in running ads. I feel like I wasted lots of time and money, and I could not figure out how to run a profitable ad to sell my $25 dance tutorial. But 2 things happened. One was a subscriber of mine, and many subscribers, as I think I had after like 3 years, maybe around like 50,000 followers on YouTube. People were reaching out, wondering the hat that I was wearing, the sweatshirt I was wearing, the headphones that I was wearing, the shoes I was wearing. They were like, what they wanted more from me. And so I was just telling them like, hey, Skull Candy headphones is what I was rocking. And then another subscriber of mine taught me that, hey, you can sign up for to be, as an affiliate, and then you can get paid when you make these recommendations. And so that's when I first learned about affiliate marketing. And so then I started doing that, but it was making through these recommendations basically via comments on YouTube under $50 a month. So I never thought of anything like that it could be scaled or serious. And I really ignored it for a few years. But the other thing that happened is right around the time where I quit my 9 to 5. I started a marketing agency in Iowa. I felt that I was probably the most proficient marketer in Iowa, and I feel like at the time there wasn't many in Iowa. It was very rare to find another YouTuber, another content creator back in 2013, 14. Another person that was really good at SEO. There was people who had paid positions at marketing, in marketing, like at a company or at an agency, and they were the SEO specialist. But I always thought, like, in the back of my head, it's like, if you're so good at doing SEO, how come you don't do it for yourself? So just for that reason alone, I feel like I was better than most people because I had spent my own money and energy marketing my own things that I could help. And no joke, and I did, the local plumber and the local roofer and the local dentist. And we had a cleaning company, one of my first clients, and they paid $300 a month, like, in SEO to rank them. Like, so I was taking, anyone that would pay at the beginning. But so I started this agency, and I still own 20% of it today. But those two things were the path that the jumped from the dance tutorials to then doing marketing, and then learning all the facets of marketing. And then the theme of all the marketing I was doing for clients was trying to get a real lead in the door. This sounds like duh to both of you, but still today in the agency world, many agencies don't want to be held accountable, like true ROI or lead generation. Like, what did the marketing bring in? Like, still today, because the fear is that if a client's paying you and you can't put an ROI in it, then they're going to be like, hey, well, I don't want to work with you guys. Like, you guys didn't bring me anything. And that's what a business should be empowered to do with data. But back then, still today, same issue. I come across agencies all the time if we're doing a competition for a business, and a lot of them, they don't even track their conversions. Not like, I don't know if you guys have ever entertained the idea of doing an agency, or maybe you have one. Like, to go after like normal, boring businesses, you guys would be like geniuses, like, to be able to talk about like conversion tracking, because agencies are like so afraid of it. But I noticed that trend, and I thought I was like early to think in this different way. Like, oh, why don't I just track everything transparently? And then I could say, hey, put me up against anyone. And then if they truly do bring you more leads and more business, then you should work with them. And I was just like really transparent. And that's how I was able to grow my agency. The funny thing is, today, I thought like eventually people will catch on. And now I'm going to come across another competitor who's going to talk like me. And then it's really going to be like a game. I still have never come across anyone. And just to clarify, the niches I'm in are the financial industries now. So our clients are like primarily credit unions, banks, and financials. And it's fascinating that it's still the same. I still talk the way I talk, and to be transparent, and it sounds like so great. And it's like, man, this is like, talk to anyone that's doing affiliate marketing. Like, we're all about transparency because we need to make our money back. We're not like, oh, I got some clicks. It's like, clicks don't pay bills.
Yeah, it's interesting. You kind of bring a little tear to my eye when you talk about SEO, because I was in that game, for quite a few years back prior to 2016. And I get a little sentimental when we start talking about SEO with any guests. But I'm not going to go that route. But you are right. It's a lot of people who really know how to do it. They just find it's probably easier, less stressful, and more money just to kind of do it for themselves. So it's really interesting, that agency route. I don't have any aspirations to start one. How about you, Andre?
Not really, but the cool thing about it is that you started like in the trenches, right? You learn the skills, and you realize, okay, well, I can do this all for myself, for my business. From the agency, you moved into basically becoming a full-time affiliate marketer, right? That was like the one that you did after. And that thing that I like about you is that you don't just promote like digital products. You also promote physical products, and that's something that we haven't really talked about in this podcast: how to promote a physical product, because I'm guessing the margins are kind of low. You get me, to promote like a physical product, so you have to promote either many products or make a lot of sales to make a good buck. So what are some of the strategies that you started using promoting physical products?
Yeah, it's true. Digital products are are amazing as an affiliate because you have so much room for profit. On physical, there's definitely not that. So how I feel like out of all the things I've tested, the thing that works the most, that's really scalable across any industry, is going to probably seem very almost too simple. And I think it's very easy to explain, but it's very difficult to execute properly. But when I run a campaign in a coffee industry or a makeup industry, I basically create a listicle style of article that has recommendations on the top 20 new, top 20 best, top 20 healthiest collagens or face creams or vegan shampoos. And then I make these recommendations, and then I might tie in for under $50 for a Father's Day gift. This elements of these puzzle pieces for basically a listicle style offer. And I run those as ads. And all I'm doing is I'm trying to capture a lead before they go to the article. And because I'm running these very generous and value-driven, almost like helping shopper guides, to get a lead's really, really cheap. It's usually under $50. And so these strategies, you collect a massive amount of leads for your money compared to if you run any type of ad in like the make money online space. To get a lead, you might be spending $10, $20 or more. But in a lot of these industries, which don't really have like competitive and competent marketers like all of us, it's very easy to attract the right lead, and then at a very cost-effective rate, which allows us a lot of room for failure and still to make our money back even with the lower margins. But I know one affiliate program. And today I'm an active affiliate for over like 500 different companies, and the strategies are really passive. I do have VAs that now manage the ads and run the ads, but because the cost per lead is so low, again, there's a lot of room for error. And I've taken an approach to not scale things too big, which is very contradictory to a lot of the content that we learn. And I can share my experiences why I've changed my strategy. But essentially, that's the high level template of how I'm attracting leads really low and then marketing towards physical products. But it's basically shopper guides based off education and value to help someone make the right purchase decision.
That's interesting. Let's unpack this a little bit, because I think there's a lot of people, maybe even a lot of our audience, who really like the idea of affiliate marketing. Obviously, it's an attractive model, but they're not really interested in the idea of becoming the leader in their space, the content creator, the attractive character. And this is something that might work out for them. So you're running ads. First, do you have specific platforms that you use? Will you use any platform that you can find good metrics on, or where do you go?
I think the simplest platform to run a lead gen ad is Facebook. And for people who are very new, you can even run a Facebook ad that the entire lead gen process is captured on Facebook. I'm sure you guys are both well aware of this, but then it prevents you from even creating a proper funnel. But I still run ads like that, even though I know how to make a funnel, or I run ads that go to a funnel and capture it. But Facebook, Instagram, I still probably have most of my leads come through there. And then the next level in difficulty is TikTok, and TikTok lead gen ads also have the same type of format. We can capture lead and then or send the funnel. But TikTok, I was really early on TikTok as a content creator and to run ads, and I feel like I just lost. It just stole my money. And then TikTok, I think, is becoming a really great place to run simple lead generation ads. The only thing is you still need a good video. You still need a good video that promotes the offer. So the TikTok video for the collagen products to try in your smoothie needs to show that. You need to create that. So either I'm having a content creator create it, we're trying in Canva. You can do amazing things. I do have a full-time video editor now, but before, at the beginning, I used to do everything myself. I always want to make that clear, because I don't want to have someone hear that and say, well, great, I don't have a videographer, editor, I can't do this. But no, like, I did everything myself and then outsourced. But those basically Facebook, Instagram, TikTok are probably my top three.
Okay, great. So great point about doing it yourself first. Andre and I were talking about that the other day, where we did everything for this podcast for like the first 6 months, even though we could have, probably afforded an editor on day one. We just wanted to learn the process, and that way you can hire better people. So I think there's value in that. So you're running your ads, trying to attract people who are maybe interested in buying something, and you're going to provide them, you call it a listicle, which is essentially kind of like, not necessarily product reviews, but maybe, like you said, 5 different coffees that are mold free, might be an example of a listicle that you might run. You are trying to capture the leads either through the platform or on a funnel, if it makes more sense. That way you can market to them later in the future. And then I'm assuming you monetize that 2 different ways, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Some people come over to the listicle, read it, and decide to buy something right there, which you have affiliate links, and then probably a majority of them are captured, and then you market to them in the future. Is that correct?
Yeah. So great question. The listicle, the hope is that they buy one of the offers or many offers, which does happen. But then the next thing that happens is when as soon as I get the lead, I put them in a drip sequence that is like I call it like a free email class. And this is usually over the time span of a week or 2 weeks. And so if we're taking the coffee example, and let's say the niche is that like what's a really successful product right now for me is Strong Coffee Company. So it's coffee. It's I don't want to call it instant coffee, because that would make it like feel tacky. It's very delicious, high end, but it has adaptogens in it. And so it's like drinking your coffee, and then it has nootropics that are supplements that help you focus and think. Mud water is a competitor of that, because they're like the anti-coffee made of mushrooms. So for example, those 2 products, same person, they're people who, first of all, drink coffee, and then they're into health, or they're curious about trying to improve their focus or quality through help. So they have to be a coffee drinker. And so these people will get this guide of like 5 amazing new coffees with adaptogens, or coffees that will make you smarter when you drink them. Let's say that's the offer. So they opt in, and they get the guide that might have Mud Water and Strong Coffee Company and Chimera Coffee, which is another one I promote, and a couple others. And then on the back end, they say, hey, hope you like the guide. In case you didn't get it, here's the link. We also just enrolled you in our coffee morning routine masterclass. And over the next 14 days, you're going to get this amazing a daily action to help improve your morning routine while you drink your coffee. That's going to help your productivity. It's going to help your mindset. It's going to help your body, but something like that. And then so by the auto enrolling, this is just fancy language for a drip sequence, but it makes them feel like they're getting something, and we give them a reason why they should want to continue to open our email. We make a good impression at the beginning by delivering value, and then every single email is going to have an affiliate offer tied to whatever that lesson is. But that's the onboarding process for listicles, is to have this email backend kind of class, and then when that class ends, typically they'll get auto enrolled into the next class usually. And so it's always like a series. I don't know if you guys go to church, but I feel like modern day churches do a really good job at you don't just show up and there's a random sermon. They have these series in place. So like, hey, for the next month, we're doing this series on the God of love. That's the one right now that I'm in church for. So it's like that same thing. It's like a concept of like, you're right now enrolled in this onboarding series, and then after it's done, they may have an option. Maybe there's 3 different options, which they get to select which series they'd like to go into.
So kind of when you bring them in, the first thing you're doing is you're promoting the product that they obviously raised their hand and showed interest in by clicking on the ad. but then you also are going to follow up because you know kind of who they are and the person. If they're interested in A, they'll probably be interested in B. So you can continue to follow up with them with offering similar things that you know they're probably going to be interested in based on the demographics and the interest in what they click. That's really, really interesting. And you said you give them choices after the first one, where they want to go next.
Yeah. So like the first one, like you said, is we're taking the best guess on what because they were opted in on this listicle that they would be interested in. And then the second one, I leave it more up to them. And maybe it's also in line with morning routine, but maybe now it's like a fitness one, or maybe a different one is like education, or one we could throw in like a finance one, like, and just like people who are interested in like bettering themselves. So then that allows like to really start diversifying the affiliate backend, and then the brand becomes like a source of trust. Because that every single email we send, it's non-salesy, there's education, and they gain insights, and there's a product that they can that's in line with the story.
Yeah, that's really interesting. You can answer my question already because I was gonna ask, what happens to your leads? Like somebody is in the coffee business, or somebody is interested in coffee and clicks on your ad, becomes a lead for you. Now what happens, and then you just explained, that you offer more stuff through the email, and it's super interesting that you do that. You also mentioned about church. I go to church every Sunday too, and they do have these classes, every, like, for example, we were in the summer mix. That's what it was for the whole summer, and everything was all about different things that happen in the Bible, right? Now let's, I guess, fast forward or go back a little bit. Not sure where we are in the timeline, but you went viral on TikTok for living in your van and traveling the United States with your wife, I believe it was. How was that experience? That's my first question. And my second question is why? Why sell everything and do this lifestyle?
Yeah, living in a van is very interesting, amazing, beautiful, simple lifestyle, and you have to give up on quite a few things that we take for granted every single day. I think the ones that aren't so obvious are things like air conditioning or like a dishwasher. Also like space and privacy. So these are the not so obvious ones. The obvious ones everyone can think of, like if I live in a van, I have to give up, I can't have 10 pairs of shoes, things like that. But the other one, those are the ones that you don't think about. But if you can surpass those mini first world problems of struggles, it becomes a very beautiful, beautiful lifestyle. You get to spend so much time outside. You don't spend too much time in the van. You're only in there to sleep and to cook and to shower and work. But besides that, I walk so much. I walked 10 miles a day, probably on average, and outside and explored, and just being in the sun, being under the stars at night. What's funny, now we lived in Austin for a year and a half, and I don't know why I have not spent one night outside, like under the fire and under the stars. In the van, did it every single day. It's like, I feel like I have to like force myself to do it. It's just so weird. Like, you get so used to being in a regular home. The why of it, my wife and I, before van life, we lived in Dublin, Ireland. And so the transition of like all of our worldly possessions and home and cars, in order to move to Ireland, we had already sold everything. So when we came back from Ireland, we were kind of Airbnb hopping for a few months, and then we were going to do another year in Japan. And then so we were halfway there in Hawaii, and that was right before the pandemic started, February or March 2020. And then when things started getting crazy, we flew back to San Diego, where my parents are, and then we bunkered down. And then it was my wife actually who saw people living in a van, and they were traveling, I'm say, quote unquote, safely. No one knew, but it felt safe, at least to be, because you were isolated. And then we were like, why don't we do that? Right now, it's easier because all of our possessions we had were in a couple suitcases from Europe. So actually, when we upgraded to the van from backpacks, we actually had more space and we had more stuff. But yeah, that was the main reason why, is because we still wanted to travel. And during the pandemic, it seemed like the safest way to do it at the time.
Yeah, I agree. For about 12 months, all of our vacations were, all right, let's rent a trailer and go somewhere because it's the only thing you could do. And it was an amazing experience. Where was your favorite locations that you visited? What were some of the things that maybe aren't the obvious ones that just blew you away or you always remember or would recommend to a friend?
I think Sedona is a beautiful place. There's a lot of the BLM land, which stands for Bureau of Land Management, and essentially it's free government land. So you literally just go in the surroundings of beautiful red rock, and you set up camp, and you walk around, and it's just gorgeous and beautiful, lovely hikes. My favorite thing was I love jumping in like bodies of water. Like wherever we were, I tried to find a waterfall or I think it's called, there's a specific name for a type of body of water that's formed from melted ice. The name escapes me, but these waters of body, you usually have to hike to get to them, and they're crystal clear, and they're also like very cold, usually under 50 degrees. And so I picked up this fascination of like jumping in cold water, which was amazing. And Lake Tahoe is a beautiful, I think one of the most beautiful places in this country. A place we went to for 1 week and then we ended up staying for 5 was Key West, Florida. It was like dead in the middle of winter, but not there. It doesn't even feel like this. It doesn't feel like the US. It feels like another country. And I feel like a lot of these places that we went to, it will never be like that again because they were so empty. It was just crazy because everyone was at home, and then we were out in the middle of wilderness and Camp Rocks, and it was empty everywhere we went. It was eerie, but it allowed us to see a lot of the places that we've always wanted to. But the U.S. is crazy because there's so many different cultures and places to live, and all across. You could just drive from state to state, and no place is the same. It's beautiful.
Well, you know this
Yeah, I mean,
because
you went from
you said you live in Texas now. So I mean, the state itself has about 4 or 5 different microclimates and different lands and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a Texas party here today. Go ahead, Andre.
Yeah, I mean, you went from the East Coast to the West Coast or vice versa, right? So it's that you were driving for a long time and getting to know these amazing places. And I'm sure you met people along the way as well. Just connections that you make while you're traveling. I did see you, the first time I saw you on TikTok was, of course, you were on your van making money with affiliate marketing. You were making, I don't know, $100,000 a month. Even some days you were making $100,000. So that's really amazing that you were able to accomplish that. But also, you started seeing, a buzz in the market. You started seeing, other programs promoting affiliate marketing and teaching people how to do that as well. So you go to the point where I saw that you were creating your own program, which was the Brambila method. And we can talk a little bit about that as well. But I wanted to basically say something that you were basically, it was like a marketing strategy that you called it, and it was the death of legendary marketer. So that's when literally I saw your videos posting it about it, and I was like, wow, this is a great marketing strategy. How did you think of doing something like that?
I think the beginning of it was I never taught affiliate marketing, and I really had no intention of doing it. But on TikTok, you have this duet feature, which allows you to take someone else's video and then paste yours on the left or right side and basically react to it. And so what ended up happening is I became very popular as an affiliate who lived in a van, and I sold. What did my content sell? It sold the time aspect, the freedom aspect. There's a lot of people who make way more money than me as an affiliate, but I feel like the thing that I've always stayed true to my brand is like, why do I like making money online is because of the time freedom. I like to create systems and processes that where I don't have to trade time for money. They may take time or to build at the beginning, but it's not an even direct proportion of trade. So people would to promote what would happen to me. And during the pandemic, I was getting 20, 30 million views a week on my videos. Like, I don't know if I'll ever experience that again. Ever since I don't live in a van, I'm totally not relevant anymore. But I would wake up and I would get dozens of messages and comments and there were bad ones. I was starting to get complaints, and people say, "I bought your course, and you scammed me, you tricked me. I didn't know I had to take this sales call. Your program was garbage." And then I was like, wait, what the heck? What are people talking about? I don't have a program. Like I don't teach you. So I was like, hey, like, what is this class that you guys think that I have? And then they said it was Legendary Marketer. So then I looked up Legendary Marketer, and I was like, are they like saying that I like endorsed by them or something? And I couldn't find myself anywhere. And then I looked at my mentions, and you have to remember I have Wi-Fi. I don't have Wi-Fi or good service every day, so I'm not on TikTok every day. I was like bulk my content during the week, and then I would send it to my videographer to schedule them or post them. But then I started paying attention closer to the mentions. And there was a lot of mentions and duets of me talking on those days where I would talk about like making six figures from affiliate marketing. People would react to that like, hey, do you want to learn what this guy's doing? Okay. Click the link in my bio. Click the link in my bio. And then so then I started going to these people, and then I would click the link in their bios, and it was an affiliate for Legendary Marketer. They were using your content, and basically. So on the yes, and again, that's fair. That's the whole point of a duet, is you could do that. But the byproduct of it was a person sees their video first, or maybe they see me and they follow me, and then they see this other person that's sharing me, and they see, do you want to learn what Adrian's doing? So they assume that's Adrian. And you have to remember, not everyone has common logic or sense online. So even though I would know that's a duet, and that link is promoting a different offer called Legendary Marketer, and there's another guy that's talking, and Adrian's not there at all, I would say, hey, this must not be Adrian's. For many people, they don't have that common sense logic. They just see the video, they click, and all of a sudden they're in this program. So I started getting these complaints, and that's when I started I signed up myself for Legendary Marketer, and I was very critical at the time on some strategy. There's just one thing in particular that I feel like wasn't made clear. And I think this caused most of the issues with their complaints is they unlocked some of the course. And then in order to unlock the rest of the course, you were forced to take a sales call for their high ticket program. And I feel like in the beginning, there's a part of the sign up process where I'm imagining everything's changed now. It's improved. So please, if you're listening to this is like 3 years old. But it made it not so obviously clear that you had to like unselect a box during your sign up process. Say, hey, do you want to take the sales call or not? And the connection that if you did not, if you left that selected, you actually could not really get the back end of the course. So it created a sense of frustration for customers. Like they paid $7 expecting the material, but then it was held hostage if they had to take a sales call for this $2,500 upsell. Besides that, I can't argue against any course material that costs $7. It costs $7. So it's great for $7 to get any information for $7 in a concise way. You shouldn't complain. You should be happy someone's doing it. Anyways, all this was happening, and this is where I was like, I kept getting more frequent of complaints because Legendary Marketer was so successful. They were the top affiliate program on TikTok. So if you were in affiliate marketing, you knew a Legendary Marketer and you promoted it. And so it was heavy. And then it got to the point where I was like, I think in order to just protect my brand, I need to create a class. And so that's where the Brambila method came into place. And that's why I put my name in the class. And so my last name, that's because I got complaints about that. I don't know why you call it the Brambila. Like, why don't you call it something else? Like, it's not scalable. It's like, I'm putting in the Brambila in it. So people know this is Adrian's class. It's the Brambila method. Like that's his only training. So that's why I originally created it. And then I took the time to try to make it great and make it good. And the class, actually, affiliate marketing is not the main focus. I really tried to focus it on, if someone just wants to make money online, affiliate marketing is great. But there's a lot of other great things too that don't require money to get started. So the theme of it was learn how to make money online without a heavy cost or investment, just using like sweat equity styles, which is kind of how I got started.
It was really interesting. It was a brilliant launch. I got involved in it, not as a promoter, but, through some duets and stuff like that. And so I obviously paid attention to it. and because I love good marketing. I learned probably as much, if not more, just from watching other marketers than I do from going through courses. Now, some of that is because I've been doing this for 11 years now, so I can read between the lines. I don't need someone to tell me step by step anymore, but I learned so much from you, but it was amazing. I mean, it was textbook. You attacked the big dog, you recruited affiliates who had experience, and you launched to your 1 million followers and anyone else who was going to pay attention because you proclaimed the death of legendary, and it was brilliant. How did it go? What was it like? And can you share any insights for someone who might be considering doing a launch? What would you do again? What would you not do again? Maybe.
I think the other part of the question and answer, why did the death of legendary marketer, that's not a soft approach that's going to ruffle some feathers, and it definitely did. And so it created definitely enemies. It created a lot of haters and people that I didn't have targets on my back beforehand. And then after I created the class and then I created this campaign, it created a lot of negative attention. And so it's really tough, especially back then. It's tough to say the pros versus cons, in terms of what it does to my brand. And I think the negative side of that is that it's really first impressions. The people who knew me beforehand, they were on Adrian's train, and it makes sense, and they understand where I'm coming from. It's really first impression. The first impression is they see a video that says the death of legendary marketer, and they see someone launching their own class. So they're saying they don't know the context and the story. And so they're in 15 seconds, they just learn, hey, this guy's just promoting his class by talking smack on another one. What kind of act is that? So, and that's the nature we live. When we create content, no one's going to know the whole context, and most of the content we reach, it reaches new people. So that's, something that could be a debate on it. I think now, fast forward 3 years ago, I'm really glad I did it. I think the things I wish I've gotten way better at, is I wish I would have personally created less content from the people out there who were that I did upset, and instead of and interacting with them. And I feel like that's just never a good use of energy. And so I responded to multiple videos of people who would say something bad about me, then I would say something to counter that. And so it's like, all that, was that helpful to anyone? I don't think that's ever helpful. And so if I could go back and do it again, I would stick with the same strategy, the death of legendary marketer. If you want to attack me, you can say the death of Adrian Brambila, just don't actually kill me, please. And then just realize you're going to ruffle feathers. And then when you do get that, just make sure you don't spend too much time focusing on the bad attention. You focus on the good attention. But I think the ones that in particular were like, actually, oh my gosh, I just thought of something very sad. There's one guy in particular who he was, I think, an affiliate marketer or agency, and then he spent a sizable amount of his content just directed at me and just hating and hating and hating. And I got really used to the block button. But then I ran into this. I was at Funnel Hacking Live, maybe it was a couple of years ago, a year ago, and I saw him there. I saw him in the corner. I know he saw me. I didn't say anything. But then I learned that he took his life. Does this story ring? No. Do you know this person?
No, it doesn't ring.
No.
It's not familiar to me. No.
I think I won't mention his name, but I think that experience, just why I'm saying why would I go back in time, is because, like, if someone, he spent a sizable amount of his content, whatever he was doing before was like all about, I hate Adrian, I'm going to destroy Adrian, and everything Adrian does, the Brambila method's bad, Adrian's bad. And so like, why would someone do that? Like, Brian, you made a video countering something, and I did a counter, and I think it was one video, and we both moved on with our lives, right? Why would someone continue to do that? And there was multiple people who just continued the negativity. And when I learned that he took his life, that's when I realized, like, man, like, see, I'm really glad I didn't respond to him, but even the people I did, like, you just never know. Like, there's some other force that's encouraging them to just spend time more than just like, hey, I don't like this strategy Adrian's doing, and then you move on. But it created some haters, and usually those people are just, they have other things going on in their life that we don't know. So now, like, I feel like that's a lesson now where I try to do a much better job of ignoring the negative attention.
Yeah,
But,
and that's a good lesson for those who are maybe new to this whole social media marketing thing. Is I think we were lucky that we got to, kind of break into the industry and learn the skills before social media was such a thing, where we could really just focus on the tactics. Now it just becomes such an emotional journey, and that's what you have to remember. Just like you said, if someone is attacking you, not strategically, we both made argument videos or counter videos just to try to grab more attention from the other person's audience or the other audience, and that's it. We both moved on. But when people are just attacking you, if you're the marketer who's receiving this negative attention, remember, like, something's going on in their life that you can't solve, and you just got to understand it's not about you, it's about them. And like you said, that's a great lesson. I appreciate you sharing that. Just move on and focus your attention on the positive, the people that you can help. Don't try to talk to people who don't want your help into seeing your side. Just focus on the people who you can help and want your help, because, like they say, where your attention goes, energy flows, right? And it's a waste of energy to focus it in the wrong places. So I appreciate that.
of course, you asked for some stats too. It was the Brambila method. It was launched as a $97 annual subscription. We did this other strategy where we'd opened for 2 weeks and then we're going to close. So the first 2 weeks we did $425,000, and about half that came from affiliates and the other half came from me. That was our launch.
So that was like most of your audience too, like the $1 million TikTok account, right? Because that was your main platform, right? TikTok?
Yeah, definitely.
And
it's impressive that you got such, I don't want to interrupt Adrian.
Yeah.
I'll turn it back over to him, but that's impressive. I mean, you're an excellent marketer. That's impressive how much you rallied your affiliates to bring in for you on a launch. That's
I feel like there was a lot of trust and clout. And then I made this audition to be an affiliate. So I gatekeeped it a little bit. So it was 100 people. I remember there's another guy. I think he's very popular too. He got rejected, and he was like, "Oh, the Brambila method sounds great." And then as soon as he got rejected, then of course he became a hater right after. But that was great. I mean, that's part, like, because the crappy thing about some marketing is that they say you only have 100 spots left, and really they just take on wherever, and you just stay true to your word, and people know. But then on top of the 100, I put my time and energy into these people. I listened to them. They took the class, and then they gave feedback, and I had to change the class so everyone says, hey, okay, I would support you now that you'd made these changes. So they were part of the process in developing the class. And then I also would I spent my time doing reviewing all their businesses and offers and content, and then try to add value to them, because they weren't just numbers to me. I wanted to treat them almost like an online family. So we had that energy for the first year. And so I think as an affiliate, my team and I have applied to over 30,000 affiliate programs. There's only like 3 who, like, I know them on a first name basis, and they send me stuff, and we have great relationships. But those are the ones I think about top of mind, why I want to keep promoting. So most affiliate program, if you have one, they don't run them well. So and if you want to run them well, you got to treat your affiliates with, like, respect and help them. And that may be beyond the product or service of the brand.
yeah, I remember when you did that strategy, which you grabbed 100 people and then they had to audition. And I even auditioned and I didn't get picked, so I don't know what happened. But anyways, but out of those 100 people, you were getting feedback from those people and to better the course, to better your program. So that's amazing. Did you encounter any difficult people out of those 100 people that you were working with?
Yeah, there was one girl. she actually made it into the program. And then she got all the classes for free. I invested in her in auditing and reviewing her stuff. And then one day I woke up and then she was like enemy. And she like, so she was someone on the inside circle who then turned around and thought it was a better strategy for her brand personally to then attack myself and the Brambila method. So we booted it out real quickly. To me, that was the shock. It was so left field because I had messages from before with her that were like, hey, it's great. It's amazing. I love it. I'm so happy to be here. And then I don't know what happened, but then I woke up one day and I had a flood of messages from the other people in the inside circle because it looks bad if someone's on the inside circle saying it's bad. But I think the only thing I can say is like there was a period of like 3 months where like Brambila method was the most. It was like affiliate marketing Brambila method. It was like we conquered TikTok, and in those 3 months, that attention, she felt there was a better opportunity to like take the attention and then be the standout. But that was the only person. So 99 people, amazing, loved it, and then we had one bad fish that we got rid of, and it still shocked me to this day. Like surprise, I was like, I still don't know why. We've never talked after, but I was like, I don't know why. Like, why did you do that? Like, you were in. Like, it could have been great for you, but went a different route.
It's not bad. Those are good odds, though. So I think it was a success. So I just looked at the clock, and I know we're getting close to our time that you promised us. So we want to be respectful of that. So now here we are, 2023, tail end of it. What does the future look like? You're out of the van. You have a more stable residence. You said you've been there about a year and a half, I think. What are you working on right now that excites you, and where are you looking to move in the future if you have any plans? And when I say move, I mean from a business standpoint.
I think I have a couple things in the mix that I'm excited about. The first is I have my first book deal in the works, and most people know me as the guy who lived in a van and does affiliate marketing, but I have a really big passion for money psychology and helping people with money habits, not telling you what to invest in like a day trader, because that's not what I do, but like getting people educated about the FIRE movement. In case you haven't heard of that and you're listening, it stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And so van life is a very extreme version of that. If you live in a van, your cost of living is incredibly low. So that means every dollar that you make, traditionally we're taught if we save 15% of every dollar, that's great. By the time we're 65, we should have enough. But the FIRE movement is like 15. How do you save 20? How do you save 50? How do you save 75? Like in the van, because our income is really high now, like we saved 98% of every dollar we made that year. So teaching people about that, and then getting them to the point where they can invest. And then most people in the FIRE movement, they're big advocates of like ETFs and index funds and more conservative style investing. But so I have a book deal with a major publisher. It'll come out in 2024. So that's exciting. I feel honestly a little lost on the other stuff. Like now that I have stable Wi-Fi, I feel like I'm not as productive. I feel caught sometimes looking at stuff, and I still have the Brambila method, but I don't promote it as hard as I did. We still have great community. We still have great success stories. So I don't have that answer figured out. Right now I'm in the middle of trying to figure it out, and that's just being honest. But I do like creating content. I do like helping people. And so I know these things to be true. As far as what the next big thing is, I'm just listening and seeing what happens.
I mean, the book is the next big thing, right? I mean, that's gonna be like a great accomplishment. And also your focus on teaching people about money, that's also huge, because the school system doesn't show you that. I went to school all these years and I didn't know what to do with the money. You get me? So that's a great focus. Well, Adrian, we appreciate your time. And something that me and Brian like to do at the end of every episode is we like to turn the tables around and see if you had one question for each, or if maybe you don't have any questions for us, we can close that interview. But yeah, this is your time to ask us anything if you have any questions.
Yeah, I think for both of you, for this opportunity, it's really the first time we've ever had to chat. And I feel like I did most of the talking, but I'd love to learn the same questions you just asked me. What are you working on right now that you're excited about, or do you have each of you big plans in the future?
Yeah, I'll go first. So the main thing that I focus on is teaching affiliate marketing to the Spanish community.
Very
So
cool.
I created my whole program in Spanish. I teach people how to do ClickFunnels, how to do System.io, how to use softwares. And it's just a business model that is really behind with the Hispanic community. I'm from Peru, so I was raised and born over there. So right now, I've done the English market for 3 years already, and I've been successful with it. But now it didn't excite me anymore. You get me? Like I didn't feel like, there's many courses out there in English. There's many programs out there in English that basically teach the same thing, but I didn't see anything in Spanish. So that's when I found that gap and I filled it, and I launched in May 1st. And right now it's been 4 or 5 months of amazing results, amazing students, and a growing community. And that's why I started that in the first place.
That's awesome. Congrats.
Yeah, it's really interesting what he's doing, and he always gets a lot of positive feedback from our guests when he brings it up. So I think it's really cool, and he's gonna be huge in the Spanish community if he isn't already. So it's really cool. Me personally, I went through a phase probably maybe sometime in 2022, probably in the earlier time of it, where I tried to figure out what I really enjoyed about the business, because I was, fortunate enough through a lot of hard work to get to the point where, this didn't have to be a 40-hour-a-week job. This could be a couple of days a week, but I didn't really like I don't know if I should call it pressure, or maybe it was responsibility, or the need to constantly reinvent myself that came from being a quote unquote influencer or a celebrity. And what I mean is, when Legendary Marketer took off on TikTok, I mean, I was one of the first, maybe the first, that kind of accelerated that. And, it's nice when things are going good and it's easy and you wake up and you just share a thought and it goes viral because, you're new and people respect you because you're trying to do it from an ethical standpoint. But it's very hard to stay on top of that game forever. That's why we have so many one-hit wonders in the music industry. That's why, you can probably name the actors that you've known all your life on, or list them on one or two hands. The Brad Pitts and Julia Roberts have obviously been around forever, but there's a lot of people who come and go. So I knew I had to get away from that. And so what I really enjoy doing is I enjoy the technical aspect of building the funnels and the follow-up sequencing. And I teach, I love the free course model that I use for marketing, where the first thing I give away is a 100% free course. Obviously there's upsells when people join. Obviously there's back-end programs, but I really enjoy that technical aspect of it. So that's what I've been focused on since 2020. And, I'm excited. My front end affiliate offer is, it's dialed in, it's on autopilot. It's going good. So now it's just like, okay, how do we build out the more robust back end following the same strategy? What's the next free course? I finally decided that, and the first page of the funnel is built. Now I'm working on the actual free course aspect of it. And it's kind of like what you do with your business, although it's not physical products. It's, hey, bring them in and then run them through a series of value and offers. And that's really what I'm focused on now, is getting that so dialed in that, quite frankly, I can spend more money than everybody else on ads, and I can enjoy what I do, and obviously help a lot of people as well, whether they want to just get free information or whether they want to upgrade with me in the future. So that's where I'm at.
Amazing. Very cool.
Well, awesome, Adrian. We appreciate your time, like I said before. And yeah, are you going to go to Funnel Hacking Live this year?
Yes. Will you guys be there?
We'll be there.
Okay, yeah, I have to leave. I have to leave early, but I'll be there.
Oh, no.
Luckily, it was cool. Can you add that in the blooper reel?
We can edit that out or leave it to
No, leave it.
We will leave it then. Yes, we'll be there at Funnel Hacking Live. I have to leave early. I'll be there Tuesday through Friday. but I'll make sure and find you early on, and looking forward to it. Last thing before we close this out, where should people go if they want to dive into you, your content, your teachings? What's the best place for people to start with you?
My email newsletter, which would be adrianbrambila.com/email. I send a newsletter every single week. It's a little bit of personal, a little bit of business, and a little bit of money.
Really cool. We'll make sure and link that down in the comments if you're watching on YouTube, and the show notes if you're listening on one of the podcast platforms. That way people can get into your world. It's a worthy endeavor to learn from Adrian, whether you buy his stuff or not. He's a great marketer, highly respected by me. Thank you so much, listener, for sticking with us. Share this with someone if you know someone who might like this style of affiliate marketing. And thanks again, Adrian.
Thanks.
All right, we'll see everybody on the next episode of the Evolved Marketing Podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.